So people just need to start doing this shit. Just start thinking. I'm not applying with anybody for anything. I'll make declarations about things.
Well, you don't want anyone to confuse you to be more.
Oh, I got this really wonderful document that I haven't done anything with yet that was going to go after the Queen. I started developing it about a year ago, and it's actually like on 14 by 21 inch paper. I had it printed at the UPS store, and it's actually like a declaration, and it's got all these points in it. It's really nice. I still got some work to it. There's a reason I was going to send it off, but it was more so just for shits and giggles. But it's a declaration, right? Sovereigns, free men make declarations. We don't apply for things.
You know? Petition.
Yeah. It's like when people ask, well, how do I get to be a free man? I say, okay, well, there's this office downtown in Ottawa. You write to them and you fill this little application for free man status. No! No! Right? It's like every time I used to love this about Shroud seminars. I went to 2 of them, and people go there and be like, oh, I did what you said, and I sent this off, and they just completely ignored it, and what do I do now? And he'd say, oh, well, you call this number. Turn around the whiteboard and he goes, all you do when somebody doesn't obey one of your orders is you phone this, and you start writing 1-800, and then you'd write crybaby. And all these people have their pens out, they start writing this phone number down, and then you get to the crybaby part, they're just like, you fucker, you got me, That's it, that's it. People just want to whine about things. If somebody's not obeying you, or they're not, you got a commercial lien and no one's, and it's not going anywhere, it's because you haven't initiated anything with it. You haven't gone and done something yet to go and collect on that as a sovereign, because as a sovereign, you can go to an international banker and you can do the same things the government does, period. Why? Because we're the ones that created this entire system. Period. We are the top rung. We created it all. So we can do anything any of these other guys can do. Period. And failing that, go home and plant a garden. And just go super naughty on them. So we gotta start taking the money away from these people, because I'm telling you, I'm not happy with the services I'm getting. I like the hospitals. I've required stitches a few times. I don't want medication of any kind ever. That's my own personal thing. I will never go on any kind of medication at all. I don't want that kind of help from Health Canada. I don't mind operations when one's needed. Like, life-saving stuff, that kind of shit. I don't mind paying for those services. But pretty much everything else, go fuck yourself. I'll take care of myself, thank you very much.
Well, fluoride in the water.
And a little caveat to that, we're heading up to the fluoride argument here in Winnipeg to get the fluoride out of the water. You know all about that. You know it's toxic. Vancouver never put it in, etc. But just for the record, the Canadian Medical Association,
no fluoride in my water.
Their own epidemiology studies say that the healthcare system, is killing approximately almost 1 million people a year.
That's the whole intent of it.
Yeah, exactly right. So
it doesn't say.
I'm not an advocate of the medical system.
It doesn't say Good Health Canada. You got those little PC Health bars on your computer where it says PC Health, and it's got like one red line at the very bottom. You're like, oh fuck, my computer's not looking too good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Health Canada is.
For sure.
It doesn't say their mandate is to make sure our health is good. It just addresses the health of Canadians, and I think that their mandate is to make sure that we're as unfucking healthy and dying as possible. When they change it to Good Health Canada, then that's a promise that I'm going to want to cash in on. Until then, I'll look after my own health. So, yeah. Any other points? Yeah.
On that topic, fluoride, if one was to try to get it out of the system,
you mean
how would we pressure the politicians to get rid of it?
Like do a class action lawsuit?
Like a private side, civil?
Can you write acts?
Those are big battles.
Can we get up a declaration?
One that is.
You probably have to start like doing the whole raising awareness thing and this and that and convincing. Here's my problem with that is I'm not a big fan of trying to convince the masses of anything. It seems ironic because apparently I'm trying to convince a number of people now. Wasn't my intention, by the way. In your own locality, short of just I know. Would I bother petitioning the tobacco companies to take mercury out of their cigarettes so when I smoke them they're better for me? Probably not. I mean, even though water is an essential service, ultimately you can go spend $5 and buy a 20-gallon jug of water for yourself to drink.
Should you have to spend that $5 if it's available on the tap?
I know that. I know.
Let me clarify something.
Yeah, you got to raise awareness.
That water has fluoride in it.
It probably does because it's
very
gotten into the
specific-
system and
Hydrofluorosilic acid is very difficult to get out, and it's
Yeah.
very specific filter systems to take it out in the bottled water that you buy in the
That's
store,
true.
or that it still has it in. But I think
It is
Claudia was
spring
asking
water.
the question, and I hear you, and by the way, public awareness on the fluoride issue is exploding.
That's
We've got-
good, yeah.
We've got 2 websites up actually for Winnipeg to get it out. But I think, because Claudia and I talked about this before, this is a good question to ask.
Yep.
You got to ask. Have you been involved in any class action lawsuits? Or like, you know what I'm saying, like not so much an individual's case, but say something for the general public, like fluoride, like say, what could we do, or how would you go about
the
that?
thing is, if you had the for a class action lawsuit, the only way that I think that it could be relevant or have standing would be that if you have the outline of your lawsuit, because remember every claim has got 3 parts. It's got the statement of facts, the damages based on those statements, and then the remedy demanded for the damage. So if your lawsuit has those 3 components together, and every single person that you're claiming to represent has read that and signed as a party to it, then I would say yes, you can probably take that into court and fight to win that.
And we're pretty much right there right now. We've got witnesses, it's technically medication, it's technically a toxin. I think
Yeah, they're medicating the water supply, which
Yeah,
is so completely criminal. It's
yeah, to
sickening.
qualify as a class action lawsuit, it's like how many signatures? Like 20
I
or
don't know, but I was kind of thinking just to keep it simple, KISS maneuver,
Yeah.
just one person filing something and prove to us that this is safe.
Yeah, see, I don't know much about this.
Would one
And if you
class
can't
action-
prove to us that this is safe, you have an obligation to take
Calgary
it out.
did
Well, they'll prove to you it's safe.
Calgary did one if there was
Yeah,
an
that
so it
was
was
the rule.
unsafe.
They got 1,000 doctors on their payroll that'll sign tomorrow
Yeah,
saying
but-
that fluoride is just wonderful for your teeth.
Actually, you know,
That's
usually
true.
it's dentists. Especially
Yeah.
like if you listen to the radio or any of the things where they're yammering from, they always contact dentists and ask them,
Well, you know,
how is the fluoride?
that's, I mean, and what relevancy does a dentist have to do with something I'm drinking that's going into
Yeah.
my body?
It's gonna wind
That's
up
true.
stinking.
You're going to have
Oh.
the expert witnesses come forward and make that statement. And for the
Yeah.
record, we have experts right now. There are doctors in the city on one of them.
How about we
and
don't-
there's internationals who will come forward as expert witnesses. But I think Claudia's point is very good. To keep it simple,
We don't want it.
What about the damage to individual people?
I don't, yeah. How about I think it's damaging. I don't think it's good. If people want fluoride, then provide them with little pills they can take home,
Which they,
Right.
which they used to do.
which they used to do. Yeah, I remember those red pills they used to give us in school and say, we always used to chew them and our teeth would all get red. And we're like, laugh at each other.
I remember that.
That's terrifying now that I think about it.
What was that?
That was fluoride.
Yeah, that was like pure fluoride. Yeah.
Outside of
But how about we just don't want something? I don't care if it's good or bad. I don't want it. We have the right to refuse things that even are beneficial for us.
Yes.
If people want it, take it out of something, give it to them in a form that is not just being produced to people on mass scale like water that most people are dependent on. I just don't want it. Sure, bring 1,000 of your doctors forward that say it is good for me and everything else, you know what, that's fine and dandy. I still don't want it. When I was a kid, I was told broccoli was really fucking good for me. And I better eat it. But I didn't want it. I don't care if it's good for me, I don't want it.
The fluoride debate or question is interesting
Yeah.
though, because if you do go to court with it, like for example, all the big companies right now are changing their public PR campaigns because they're removing fluoride from it because
Yeah.
they know that something's brewing.
Yeah.
And the dentists are ganging, but a lot of the dentists are coming to the fore and are saying, they're publicly saying this is bad. So you look at it this way. Say, take your average dentist out there in North America who's already intentionally given fluoride to umpteen patients that have passed, right? Well, that doctor is then liable. Like individual doctor, relative the contract they had with that patient.
Yeah.
Like that's a time bomb. It's a cataclysm.
That's individual lawsuits.
Yes.
which brings up the other question.
And great.
Would it be better to do 5,000 individual lawsuits for the
Yeah.
fluoride issue, or just one class action lawsuit?
Exactly.
5,000
That's the key
would be much more difficult for them to deal with. I like the idea of 5,000 separate
Because
lawsuits.
a class action lawsuit generally only benefits the lawyer. or
That's
the
Not only-
person.
not only-
That's the answer.
Not only that, a class action lawsuit, judges actually have the discretion to say, nah, no.
Yeah, good luck with 5,000 of those.
right? And there was actually just something like that happened actually with the judge throughout. Oh yeah, that Walmart class action lawsuit where like something like something like what 1.8 million people were suing Walmart for something. The judge just went, no, I really don't believe these people all have a common grievance with Walmart. Nah.
So it was probably like by a lawyer who is.
You can, because you can make that argument, common grievance, right?
That's right. That was for a women's rights issue for Walmart employees. That 10 women took it to the Supreme Court and they lost because the courts are crooked, because those judges are crooked.
Of course.
So you're not going to get a fair
so if
trial.
nothing else, the individual lawsuits, it's like the same thing they've done to us for years now, is waste our time. Well, 5,000 individual lawsuits takes up a lot of their resources as well. Great, do it. And here's another argument I'd love to see people start making when they go down to the courthouse and they start to file these lawsuits, and I've told a few people about this, is when they try to charge you the $240 to file a lawsuit. Yeah, number one, you say, well, excuse me, is there something I can sign to sign up for a program to have that waived? Because I'm sorry, I don't have any money. And it's my understanding this is a publicly funded courthouse. So if this is publicly funded, then I shouldn't have to pay for this. And if I can't afford it, are you denying me access to justice because I'm poor?
Did you do that?
I haven't done that yet. I haven't had a need to do that. But do it. I'm poor. Are you denying me access to justice? Isn't that the reason it's supposed to be publicly funded? Is so even the poor have a right to justice? Well, now you don't have a $240 fee anymore either. So now we're not wasting our money going after these fuckers anymore. And that's one of the keys. So I hope you like that, my thoughts on that.
Yeah, very much.
That's all they are.
Yeah, it does, because it helps to clarify, because we've been searching for different strategies.
I wouldn't do the class action suit. I just don't. I think that it leaves too many holes. That they can just say, well, I really don't believe you guys' grievance is common, or I don't think that some of the people on this actually understood what was in this lawsuit. You know, just because you read it doesn't mean you understand it. If you don't understand it, then you have no claim. It's like just sign this and you can get some. Read this, say you understood it, and you'll get some money out of this lawsuit at the end, right? That's one of the holes that brings into a class action lawsuit. You were going to ask something.
Another course of action we're contemplating was sending in a motion and sending a copy of that motion to the insurance carrier.
The motion of
that we're going to file a lawsuit against the city or for the
don't send them a notice.
Or a
legal
notice.
Yeah.
And send a copy of that notice to the insurance carrier that insures the city's water system.
Yeah, send them a notice of damage. You people have been poisoning me my entire life.
And the reason for that
You stunted my IQ. Look at me. Look at the way I'm talking. That's proof.
Like that's not a bad joke.
Seriously.
Would have been for the insurance company not to insure them in the future. Hey, we feel there's going to be a liability in the future if you don't do what these people are telling you to do.
That's probably not going to scare them. Insurance companies don't care, right?
You know, the best way to go into one of those lawsuits is to do it yourself and represent yourself. I was in 3 of them.
Of course.
Hundreds of millions. I got nothing. The lawyers got millions of dollars.
Of course you have to represent yourself. If you subrogate your rights to somebody else to enforce, then you no longer have any rights.
I wish I would do that.
And I'd love to meet the lawyer that can do a better job of defending my rights than me. So, I don't know, we probably don't even need to tape anything more tonight, so that was my promise though, that we'll get on here real quick then though, is that, well, that's what we're going to concentrate on, I think, maybe next time. We'll give our battle plans away here to my adversaries to come and shoot me before we film videos. That we're gonna teach people how to not file income taxes anymore, to not pay them, or to get them back if they had paid them. No promises, just what you can do about it. You're only going to collect or make things work on your ability or your resolve to see it through. And if you're not willing to, then just pay them. And property taxes. That's two big ones.
But because New Zealand is 16 hours